All right, I'm Pops, and welcome to my review of Jurassic World Dominion. Saw it, and let me give you a quick rundown. I will keep the spoilers to later in the video, so you don't have to worry about if you don't want it to be spoiled for you. So let me give you a quick rundown of the story and what to expect. So obviously, this takes place right after the events of Fallen Kingdom, where the young cloned girl named Maisie releases the dinosaur because of sympathy. Like she sees, if we exterminate these dinosaurs, it's like exterminating herself. Like there has to be value in their lives, and she basically condemns the Earth to deal with the dinosaurs, and that's where we pick up. There's good and bad. There's a quick little newscast that kind of summarizes what's been going on. A company called Biosyn has been given the rights to gather the dinosaurs and put them in this sort of like isolated sanctuary, because what could go wrong with that, right? She is being hidden by Owen and Claire. They live very remotely in the woods because people are looking for her. They have her face out there. And the story kind of follows that piece of it along. Blue arrives. I'm careful. We'll get to the trailer maybe at the end, and we kind of like go through some of the footage because I didn't watch any footage ahead of this. So I don't know what was spoiled and was not. So basically, the story goes along. Then secondary to this is the original cast do return in this film. So Laura Dern comes back as Ellie Sattler. She has been called in after they capture this giant locust. So this locust is this massive locust, and it has DNA or some characteristics that tie back to the Cretaceous period. So she goes and sees Dr. Grant. So Sam Neill's back. And unbeknownst to them, they've been contacted to also connect with Ian Malcolm, he's first shown speaking at the Biosyn. Now, Biosyn is being run by a doctor, Dr. Dodgson. He is the person that hired Nedry. So there's that scene in Jurassic Park where they're at the little cafe and they're giving him he's the one that's basically funding the Barbasol can of the embryos. This is his company. He's basically trying to say, we want them for experimentation. We can solve cancer and Alzheimer's, all these different things with the dinosaurs. Of course, just like every other Jurassic Park film, it's just so stupid that we still have to clone and keep the really dangerous predators and the pterodactyls that would limit airspace. And they have like a electronic protection grid that keeps the pterodactyls away. That's how they're able to fly into this remote area. Everything with the dinosaurs and where they are is all in the snow, which I thought was very strange for lizard and animal. I know they try to make their warm-blooded references in the first film, but I thought that was just really strange that we would just make these animals live in the snow. Anyway, so that's how the film kind of plods along. Of course, things twist and turn. They eventually get a hold of Maisie. There's some other twists and turns. They pick up a couple new characters along the way. So the second in command, his name is Ramsey at Biosyn. He's key to the story. There's a pilot. She's the one that you see in the trailers. She's a DeWanda Wise, I think is her name. I'll double check that while we're talking. DeWanda Wise. She is this pilot. She was in the Air Force, and she kind of gets Owen and Claire to this remote facility. And of course, everything's going to turn to hell in a handbag, and that's pretty much what we have in Jurassic World. The story is kind of a letdown, in my opinion. I'm not going to get into spoilers quite yet. I think that there are some visuals early on I thought were really, really bad. I think some of the practical effects really were bad as well because they don't blend well with the overall Jurassic World feel. And definitely the films that work best are the two, like the original Jurassic Park and the original Jurassic World, because of the theme park experience and all of that. Like it seems like all of that flows better and seems more natural. Whereas this type of stuff, where they're in our world and whatever, very little of it kind of works. Like and then near the end of the film, or at least the last half of the film, where that you are kind of like immersed into this facility where all these dinosaurs are, a lot of that does work a lot better. Anyway, so that's pretty much the general gist of the film. I would not recommend high prices. I wouldn't recommend all of that. There's great sound. There's some great visuals from time to time, but is it worth the high ticket price? Probably not. If you want to see it in the theater, get the theatrical experience, go for a matinee, something like that. Not a film that I can really strongly or highly recommend. So with that, let me transitions into some spoilers for you. And in the meantime, let's let's take a little quick Bob Ross.
All I do is chill. My life is a thrill, for real, Bob Ross. I be too calm for the drama. You don't want to cause a problem, I'll solve it, Bob Ross.
So there we are. You've had your spoiler warnings. We took a little chill break. So let's do spoilers. So the film is kind of a mess plot-wise. Like we pick up early on and we see Owen wrangling these dinosaurs on horseback and gets off on one, goes up to touch it, and like the horse could be picked up and slung around by this dinosaur. It's just, I don't know, man. There was so much just idiocy. Blue has a baby, so literally it was just nothing more than like the Baby Yoda effect. We're going to create little baby Blue, and Maisie tries to connect to Blue, and then later on, because we learned that Blue is a clone, Beta, she nicknames the little thing Beta, because she's basically like a replicant. Like, we don't know how Blue made the baby. Like, we're just told that she did. She just made the baby. And then we're later told that as Maisie finds out about her mom, same thing, immaculate conception. Kid you not. Yep, that's it. She's just special. She's just special. So they get kidnapped, and these poachers / kidnappers move the story into these other remote locations where it's basically like, let's find one clue, whatever, just keeps moving the story. And then you have the original characters, and they're doing their thing with the locusts. So you have all these different stories. And ultimately, they do finally come back together. Some people say that's the best part of the film. Sam Neill is the best part of the film, to be honest. Anyway, so it's fine. It was a cheesy, motorcycle raptor scene in the city, which worked well in Jurassic World the first time we've seen this. It doesn't work well pulling like a Mission Impossible where he's going up and down stairs. Like I don't know how he would be so familiar with the city that any of this makes sense. The raptors wouldn't be in close enough range to catch him. It was stupid. And then they know that's the people they're called the parents. Obviously, they're the surrogate parents of Maisie. So they turn off the protective dome. So the pterodactyls attack the plane. The plane goes down. Claire ejects, and that was fine. She survives in a reasonable manner compared to Owen, who they just pop the hat. I don't even know they have scratches. I don't understand why we can't beat up actors and have. First of all, it would have been like a long part of the script. That's probably why they don't want to do it. But they should have had some injuries. But no, she's an amazing pilot. She just did it. And then they go out across this ice, and there's a dinosaur that attacks them. And it wasn't horrible. She saves Owen, which I thought was a little just out of the blue, like he's under the water. She just reaches in and grabs him. But more importantly is whenever she pulls him out, they just sit there, just do nothing. The dinosaur's right there, by the way. So you got to wait for it to pop up again. So they start running. I can't stand that stupidity in your characters. I don't understand why you think they can be that dumb one moment and then be smart enough to survive the next. It's just so stupid. So Ian Malcolm, meanwhile, has helped Ellie and Alan, Dr. Grant, to get into the secret lab. That's where they find these locusts. They learn what's going on. They end up freeing Maisie. Ramsey's there to help them because Ramsey's kind of like the double agent. And that sort of progresses, and then they kind of come together later, and it all kind of stems around the fact that they panic because the locusts are out of control in the real world, eating all the food supply. They're going to destroy the earth faster than the guy thought he couldn't control. And he says, like, I'm doing all of this about control. So the idea is that they hit the fire to burn them all, but they don't all die, and they somehow burst out a glass sunroof in this cage. Yep. And they're basically like a bunch of smoldering, blazing locusts that set the woods on fire and create more havoc in the air and on the land across the river. Is what? And that leads to cages breaking open. Everything just turned to heck in a handbag, man. Everything. So Claire had come down where the animals are. You see Gigasaurus is what we're going to call this one. The giant one that's bigger than the T-Rex. The T-Rex catches something but gives it up. Like they kind of the T-Rex like knows to be weak. They don't fight over it. The T-Rex just leaves it like, you're bigger and better than I am. It was so strange. So there's tons of little chase scenes, move the little MacGuffins around, protect Maisie. Maisie learns about her mom, and Ellie knew mom, and she was just the bestest, and she did this gene therapy, and that's why you can live, and she couldn't live, but she wanted to give you the life she couldn't have, and all of that. The problem is it's just a very convoluted mess of a whole lot of like little pieces of things, and they mix in all of the little member berries, like, little homages to the other movies. Right, so we have to have a shot where Ian lights his flame on top, waves it around to get the dinosaurs' attention. You have just all these little things. Oh my gosh, I forgot to mention Ellie. So the first time we see Ellie Sattler, she sees the locust. She does the nervous eye glasses thing that she does in Jurassic Park when she sees the Brachiosaurus for the first time. So that's the kind of stuff. I'm like, it doesn't even have any weight because it's not relevant enough to the current plot. Like, I mean, I understand that she would kind of have a response to the locust. But we can't compare her response to the locust to the response to the Brachiosaurus for the first time. That was just dumb. Anyway, I don't think it's quite as woke as it kind of appeared. Let's do the trailer real quick. I didn't watch this, so we'll see what kind of happens here, because I did not watch any footage. I wanted to go in as clean as possible, so I didn't have anything spoiled for me. So I don't really know what's in a lot of the trailers, to be honest. But I do know this first part is, and I wanted to touch on this because this was really, really dumb for me. I really hated this sequence where they're running and then he catches them on horseback. Right, this is the scene, and I gotta be honest. Maybe it's because we were in the theater experience or whatever. This looked really bad. This did not look good. And this is Owen, doing his thing, putting the hand out. Not only does he do that a couple times in the movie, but he gets the other characters to do it too. Even when other raptors and other creatures have them cornered, they'll do this. Even with the little baby beta, they're trying to catch it. It's like, okay, everybody spread out, triangulate. And they're like, oh my God. It's just such overkill and cheesiness that it wasn't even remotely interesting. And the pilot, the lady, she's the new actress. What's her name? Kayla. She doesn't really ever seem afraid about everything. Like, it was so dumb to me that she would be part of all this around these dinosaurs and stuff, and she's not really freaking out at all. Didn't like any of that. Anyway, so that was all very early in the film with the Owen stuff and all of this. This is Maisie. She sneaks out of town. She's not supposed to go out of town. So it's like she's communicating to help. And this was, I guess they did reveal like little baby beta. There it is. Yeah. So but the problem is they just, she just has this baby. It's like, all right. It wasn't like they found a way because there's a male out there somewhere. They just blew out a baby. Like, it's like immaculate conception kind of nuts. So all of this is very early in the movie. This is all set up stuff about Maisie being a brat. And she is. Maisie in the beginning of the film, unbearably irritating. She's supposed to be about 14. She is a freaking witch on wheels, unappreciative of anything. She feels like she doesn't need to be protected and whatever. And immediately she does anything rebellious, she gets herself kidnapped because she's dumb and she's a kid. So I hated all of that character stuff. I just don't care. This was a very early. Actually, this may be the very first scene. I'm sorry. They basically are doing the deadliest catch, and Mosasaur jumps out and gets them. But we don't know anything about the Mosasaur after that. It's literally just the equivalent of the shark scene in the first Jurassic World film. And then this is when we meet Ellie Sattler meets Dr. Grant for the first time. Sam Neill is the show, man. Sam Neill is boss. He almost should be like the brother of Indiana Jones in an Indiana Jones movie. That would have worked well. A little bag fell off my desk. Sorry about that, folks. He was really by far the best part of the film for me. He stepped right into it again, like we never missed a beat. She was all right. Laura Dern was fine. I'm no big Laura Dern fan, so this doesn't, it's no big deal. So this is a minute, something and a half. They just have these footages, little clips of the end. This is actually the end of the film with all that kind of stuff. And this is the pilot. and then being trapped by someone. And she basically has this look on her face a lot. Like she's not fearful or intimidated by any of the dinosaurs. I thought that was just really strange with her character. DeWanda Wise was fine. And I don't think anything derails the story because the story is just a freaking mess. I don't think it's because of her or anything like that. This was that was how Claire got away from her. Our BD Wong is back again as Henry Wu. Oh, his story arc was really strange. He's just obsessed with genetics and he can solve the problem. And they kind of give him a chance to redeem himself. And it was all right. This is part of that chase scene in the city with the raptors. They're trying to escape the raptors, which used to be more difficult and challenging. It just seems like we're able to. If we just know the right ways to do it. And this is that really, really dumb scene on the ice. Not because of it's conceptually dumb. It's just the fact that the execution's dumb. This is the locust attacking. Those kinds of things. And this chase scene, like, this is just... Look how stupid this is. You're in front of 2 apex predators and chasing by raptors, and you survive all. I mean, it's just, oh god. And they let him have dad bod a little bit. Like he wasn't like super cool or suave or anything. Really let down. This was the plane scene when getting ready, the plane's going to be attacked by the pterodactyls. So that's kind of what that was all about. And all that was fine. She's just such a great pilot. It was fine. Everybody can survive. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't care for it all. This is okay. So there's a lot of little lefty political things in it. I don't really want any politics in my movie, really, with dinosaurs. But it was like, this was the animal rights part where Claire's out there saving dinosaurs again. With Dr. Sattler, there's a lot of like the environmentalists and the over farming and all of that kind of stuff, which again, it's conceptually presented a very simplistic way, not in a nuanced way. And there's a few other things that are very anti-corporation and those kinds of things. So it's not anything totally irritating, but it did happen repeatedly in the film. Now, this was the setup right before the I believe the triangulation to catch the little one. Oh, they did ruin it. They ruined the Dilophosaurus. Okay, yeah, that happens. It's extremely retarded because it catches. Let's see if they don't ruin it. Okay, it's retarded because they have a shot that happens with Claire, but she doesn't get spit on. It's just so stupid. They're not even consistent with their own dinosaurs. And then let's see, bigger is always bigger. Yeah. Oh, that's a good shot of the locust. See how they set everything on fire? How dumb that looks and whatever. It's just so stupid. It was just, this film is just riddled with really dumb ideas. And it's really a shame because the franchise has really got a lot of potential and can have some really interesting and good things in it. Like I said, I enjoyed Jurassic World, not because I didn't get that it was a lot of member berries, but because I thought the kids had good story arcs. I thought the characters did. I thought a lot of that really worked, even though in the second film they kind of derail a lot of the progress that they made. And then, of course, the horrific ending of the second film. So this third film, just a freaking mess. So, yeah, I mean, if you want to spend $5 or something and see it with the big booming sound and stuff, I get it. But it's not something I'm going to highly recommend. So, anyway, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you think this is great and you should see it. I don't know. Maybe you tell me what you think. I don't know. I am going to have to disagree. So with that, I'm Pops. I'm going to go out on some Bob Ross, and you guys take care, and I will see you on my next review or show.
I mean, this is going to make E.T. look like Raiders of the Lost Ark. You know what I'm saying?
What is Pops doing?
Bob Ross, you'll never see me tripping. Got the vision, I don't even need assistance. Bob Ross, all I do is chill. My life is a thrill, for real, Bob Ross. I be too calm for the drama. You don't wanna cause a problem, I'll solve it, Bob Ross.
Rap Circle is finally here. I know everybody been waiting for it, right?